Breeze TV.
The results are in. Meet JMU's newly elected student government.
And celebrating all of the women that have made their mark on the world.
Then, football showcases in front of NFL scouts during Spring Pro Day.
Plus, how this professor is bringing her New York experience to Harrisonburg.
All this and more on today's episode of Breeze TV.
Live from the Allison B. Parker Studio in the School of Media Arts and Design at James Madison University, this is Breeze TV.
Welcome back to Breeze TV. I'm Maggie Rickerby.
And I'm Sam Game. The 2023 Student Government Leadership was decided during its election last Tuesday. Nate Hazen was elected student body president with 47.9% of the votes cast. Abigail Cannella was elected the student representative to the Board of Visitors with 34.7% of the vote. Also elected were Vice President Faith Foreman and Executive Treasurer Matt Hainix, who both ran unopposed. Nearly 1,900 students voted in the election, a 47% increase from 2022. And now we'll throw it over to reporter Lizzie Stone, who is in studio with the newly elected student representative to the Board of Visitors, Abigail Cannella. Lizzie, what do you have for us?
Thank you, guys, and thank you for joining us today, Abby.
Thank you for having me.
What was your reaction to winning the election?
I was just on the verge of tears. I had been running around all day. It was a 12-hour-long election period, and for all 12 of those hours, I was running between D Hall and Duke's Dining, Taylor Down Under, anywhere that I thought that people could be and talking to them. So I was exhausted and just overwhelmed by how crazy this is.
Mm-hmm. What will your top priority be as student representative?
Priority number one is getting a vote for students on the board. I'm the voice for all the students, but there's really nothing to back that up. But if we have a vote on the board, then they'll have to really listen to the student representative and make sure that they're applying what the student representative is saying, because they'll have some concrete way to back up what they're saying. And that'll have to be brought to the Virginia General Assembly, which is a whole big undertaking, but one that I'm so excited to bring on. And then communication, making sure that everybody knows what the Board of Visitors is and what I do within my position.
Mm-hmm. What does this position mean to you?
It's crazy. It means that I am just the voice for every single student at JMU, whether you're a grad student, whether you're an incoming freshman, a senior who's leaving in a few months. I am the voice for each and every person there, which is crazy to think about, but it's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Just make sure that you're following all of the Instagram accounts. I'm going to be posting updates on what I'm doing week to week on Cannella for JMU. And make sure you're following JMU SRBOV on Instagram, because July 1st, when I take over the role, I'll be posting on there, keeping everyone up to date.
Thank you so much for coming in, Abby.
Thank you.
Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Lizzie. In honor of Disability Advocacy Week, 2 authors came to JMU to share their experiences living with a disability through their own poetry. Molly McCulley Brown and Susanna Nevison read out loud from their book, In the Field Between Us. The work is a collection of letters back and forth between the authors discussing living with a disability. They said that disability shouldn't be seen as just an illness, but as a way for the world to learn about the importance of diversity and inclusion. Graduate student Lauren Van Hall said that keynote events like these further help address issues on self-advocacy.
I just think it's a great opportunity for students to come together and hear about maybe a different perspective, because that's how we can be advocates just as a whole community at JMU, is being aware, being educated, and hearing each other and kind of like responding to that as a whole community.
Brown and Nevison said their writing is a way to combat a lack of advocacy and hope to see more writers with disabilities speak up. Van Hall said that the JMU Office of Disability Services is always available to help students succeed through providing support.
JMU has taken steps to improve options for Muslim students during Ramadan. Until April 21st, students can receive 2 free containers for to-go meals between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. D Hall and E Hall are extending their hours until 9 p.m. to accommodate those fasting, as well as offering daily halal meals. Ramadan is a time of prayer and a period of fasting for Muslims from sunrise to sunset. To learn more about Ramadan and how to support your peers, you can go to JMU_MSA on Instagram. Coming up,
take a look at how the future is female at JMU.
And our politics team brings the latest in former President Donald Trump's indictment.
Then a look at Governor Glenn Youngkin's CNN Town Hall.
Stay tuned.
A Bojangles family meal has more to choose from.
Coleslaw,
Dirty rice.
mac and cheese, those scratch-made biscuits.
More choices of handcrafted fixins for everyone. You won't find that in a bucket or a bundle. Order in the app and get more. It's Bo time.
It's Bo time. Get fired up tonight because Bojangles has your dinner covered. Southbound, scratch made. Not in one of these, but one of these. That's more home cooking for your money. Order your family meal in the app tonight. It's Bo time. It's Bo time. Hurry into Bojangles for 2 scratch-made sizzling sausage biscuits for just $4. 1 bite and you'll want breakfast for dinner. Good thing we serve savory sausage biscuits all day. But this 2-for-4 deal won't last forever. It's Bo time.
This is Breeze TV.
Welcome back to Breeze TV. An author, activist, and artist shares what she has learned about womanhood through the lens of a trans woman at a keynote speaker event yesterday. Hope Giselle went from living in a project house in Miami to being the first openly trans woman at Alabama State University to graduate with a bachelor and master's in fine arts. She said that having to explain her identity forced her into activism. Giselle said she wants to be a voice for people in her shoes.
It's important for me that I show up and be that voice that I wish was there for me when I was growing up. I think that we all have a voice that we wish was there, and now we're trying to do our best to either fill it or find somebody that we think is qualified to.
Giselle said that speaking to college students is her favorite type of event to lead. She loves to see young people light up when they're reminded that they can always speak up for peers, even when an issue doesn't involve them. Giselle has made a name for herself on social media as a motivational speaker with 49.6K followers and has many projects coming up on the horizon.
Who runs the world? Girls! This week, reporter Alexa Bonilla sat down with members of female-run organizations at JMU.
Female leaders at JMU inspire others while creating a safe environment. Days for Girls is an organization that works to make menstrual products available for women all over the world. As one of the founding members and the current president, Sarah Caulfield shares her advice to aspiring female leaders.
You're capable of anything like you could put your mind to, even if you don't see someone that looks like you in a leadership position, you can still do it.
The leadership qualities these women exhibit extend beyond their club meetings. Kanaya Whitting, the president of Women of Color Club, speaks about being a woman in an integrated science and technology major and how she looks at diversity as a benefit instead of a crutch.
Very often I'm the only one in those spaces, which can be intimidating, but through that I have learned to be confident in my abilities, not let imposter syndrome take over, and be myself.
JMU Charge is a group that works to empower women physically and mentally. Aiden Ginn, the president of JMU Charge, shares her testimony.
Be yourself, be true to who you are, and if they don't accept you, you're not in the right place.
JMU Charge member Emily Simon shares her message to all women.
We are strong, and we should be strong, and it's cool to be strong.
During Women's History Month, these leaders' messages are spread throughout campus, but their main goal is to inspire others all 365 days of the year. Reporting for Breeze TV, I am Alexa Bonilla.
And now over to our political correspondent, Regine Aranazari for Breeze TV Politics.
Good afternoon, JMU. I'm Regine Aranazari, and this is Breeze TV Politics. A Manhattan grand jury is expected to issue an indictment against former President Donald Trump, according to a post on his Truth Social account. The charges relate to a hush money payment by the president to cover an alleged affair. The post suggested he would be arrested on Thursday, but an indictment will not come until next week at the earliest.
That would obviously be a very dangerous precedent to set, that some people are above the law, or at least work outside the law because of their public support. Now, Trump knows this very well, and his tweets and his, public pronouncements, calling on his supporters to protest and, even violently, he's playing up this fear that, indicting him, arresting him, charging him, convicting him would produce civil unrest.
The former president is currently under 3 other government-run investigations, in New York State for falsifying business records and in Georgia for his efforts to overturn the 2020 election there. The Department of Justice has also appointed a special counsel to further investigate election interference and the classified documents found in his Mar-a-Lago home. In other news, Governor Glenn Youngkin emphasized education as a top priority for his administration in a CNN town hall hosted by Jake Tapper. Youngkin faced questions regarding critical race theory, claiming it is, quote, incorporated in the curriculum. Nico, a 17-year-old transgender student, pressed the governor on his proposed transgender policies, asking if the girls in his high school would be comfortable sharing a bathroom with him.
What's most important is that we try very hard to accommodate students. That's why I have said many, many times, we just need extra bathrooms in schools. We need gender-neutral bathrooms, and so people can use a bathroom that they, in fact, are comfortable with. I think sports are very clear, and I don't think it's controversial. I don't think that biological boys should be playing sports with biological girls.
Although Youngkin declined to answer about his potential presidential ambitions, the event has further fueled speculation. A Rona College poll released earlier this month found Youngkin as a less favorable candidate in Virginia. Yesterday, a top Republican operative who worked as a campaign advisor to Youngkin moved to a super PAC in favor of Ron DeSantis. Delegate Tony Wilt has been serving the 26th district since 2010, and he's not done yet. In a press release, Wilt announced he'll be running for re-election. The newly drawn district will include areas such as Massanetta, McGaysville, and the town of Elkton. In the press release, Wilt expressed the importance of Republican victory in order to reverse, quote, egregious policies adopted under full Democrat rule. Wilt's current priorities are farming and agriculture, public safety, and education. All 100 House seats are up for re-election this year, as well as 40 state Senate seats. For more on what's happening outside of the Valley, we'll now turn it over to Eleanor Shaw with the latest. Eleanor?
Apologize for those technical difficulties. We're now at the half.
JMU football shows off their skills at Pro Day.
And women's lacrosse takes on UVA.
Then house softball continues to knock it out of the park this season.
Stay tuned.
Bojangles Family Meal has more to choose from.
Coleslaw.
Dirty rice.
Mac and cheese. Those scratch-made biscuits.
More choices of handcrafted fixins for everyone. You won't find that in a bucket or a bundle. Order in the app and get more. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Get fired up tonight because Bojangles has your dinner covered. Southbound, scratch made. Not one of these, but one of these. That's more home cooking for your money. Order your family meal in the app tonight. It's bow time. It's bow time. Hurry into Bojangles for 2 scratch-made sizzling sausage biscuits for just $4. One bite and you'll want breakfast for dinner. Good thing we serve savory sausage biscuits all day. But this 2-for-4 deal won't last forever. It's bow time.
Welcome back to the Sports Desk. I'm Colby Reese. JMU football held its pro day earlier this week with over 20 NFL teams in attendance. Take a look at what was seen at the event and what it meant to those who participated. Former Dukes took the field on Monday to showcase their skills to the scouts. With all of the preparation that goes into this day, keeping a steady mindset and remaining positive was a key for the players.
There's a little pressure to it. Whatever we all put out there, that's the player that we are. We can't let anything, sway our confidence.
While the participants are focused on displaying what they could potentially bring to the field professionally, the emotions loom large.
It's kind of bittersweet, This is the last time I'm gonna ever be on this field, doing stuff.
The duo of Todd Centeo and Chris Thornton, who connected for 7 touchdowns last season, kept it simple during the throwing and catching drills, relying on their many experiences together.
I told them right before, I said, let's just do it like it's practice. And, we was pretty clean.
It was nothing different. It just, last time I probably catch the ball from Toddy, so it was kind of emotional moment a little bit.
Despite losing these key players, there are no worries from those moving from stars to fans about the team's future success, with much of the same group returning.
We had this thing rocking not too long ago, and I just hope they keep it going, and I have full faith in the team. I think JMU can be squared away.
While all the players have their own journey to furthering their football careers, the goal surely remains the same for everyone.
Become an NFL starter, be a great starter in the NFL.
These Dukes will hope to hear their names called during the NFL Draft, which is set to begin on April 27th. Reporting from Bridgeforth Stadium for Breeze TV, this is Colby Reese. Earlier this week, the Virginia Cavalier women's lacrosse team made their way to the Berg for a top 15 matchup against JMU. The match ended 10-8 in favor of the Dukes in a game that never saw either side lead by more than 2. Assistant News Director Moses Harris takes us through the action.
It was a beautiful day for lacrosse at Centera Park this past Wednesday as the number 5 JMU Dukes gripped their sticks in the preparation for an in-state game against number 12 ranked University of Virginia.
Well, we know now that we're top 5, everyone's going to come after us. Everyone's going to be hungry. UVA is coming off of that loss to Richmond just last week, so we knew they were going to be hungry. They're incredibly high-power offense.
And one reason for that high-powered offense is UVA midfielder number 7 Mackenzie Hogue, coming off of 5 goals in a win against Pitt. JMU would look to keep her out of the game early, as the Dukes opened up the scoring with a goal from number 23 Taylor Marchetti. But offense would not be the name of this game, with save after save after save from JMU's Kat Buchanan and UVA's Ashley Vernon, who had 23 combined stops.
Yeah, I think it's just stay composed. They're going to start falling eventually. Keep shooting. I think their goalie had a great game. She was making saves. If we had put a couple away, it would have been a little easier.
Later in the game, they did put a couple more away, with key goals coming from sophomore Savannah DeRay, who put up a hat trick, and redshirt sophomore Olivia Mattis, who scored 1 to tie up the game at 7-7 after being down 2 in the 4th. The game was physical throughout, with energy being brought from both sides.
No matter where you are, you're going to show out and be excited and, play all the way through. No matter what, be excited, have fun, and I think that's what makes us JMU.
After a tough battle, the Dukes continue to do what JMU lacrosse does.
We win at JMU.
Reporting from a sunny Centera Park, this has been Moses Harris on Breeze TV.
JMU softball expanded their 2-game win streak to 4 this past week with a doubleheader win against George Mason. Reporter Sam Reinert explores the team's new focus after a challenging 2 wins.
Earlier this Wednesday, softball won both games of their hard-fought doubleheader against George Mason. The Dukes beat the Patriots 9-5 in the first game and 5-4 in the second game. The patterns of being in the lead one inning then not the next was a commonality in both games. Freshman catcher Bella Hensler had 4 RBIs during the second game, despite being left on base 3 times in the first game.
I think it's kind of a momentum thing. I think that when we kind of go back and forth, we've been in a lot of games like that in the entire year, so we're kind of used to it. And I think we kind of feed off of pressure, and I think this team has done a really good job of responding well to that.
In the top of the 6th of the first game, George Mason scored 2 runs, leading the game 5-4. JMU responded at the beginning of the bottom of the 6th, with Avery Pinder scoring thanks to Jasmine Hall's RBI up the middle. What set the team ahead was KK Mathis's grand slam, bringing the Dukes back in the lead for good.
For me, it's kind of like my bread and butter. I live for those moments, and so just thinking in that, with
the bases loaded, trying to get up on them, just going in there with the mentality, we're going to get it done.
The momentum in the second game slowed down after the fifth. Going into an extra inning, JMU broke the 4-4 tie with a double to left by KK with Kylie Gleason scoring. Seeing similar back-and-forth matchups with both George Mason this week and Coastal Carolina last week, the Dukes know they can push forward in tight contests.
We're a great team in that even if we didn't have our best weekend, we can still come out on top and learn how we can adjust and go and be great this weekend.
Having games midweek helps the team know what they need to focus on going into the next series against Georgia Southern, not just getting runners on base, but getting them home.
Wins in the middle of the week. It kind of gives you confidence going into the weekend.
Reporting from Veterans Memorial Park for Breeze TV, I'm Sam Reinard.
The team beat Georgia Southern 12-7 in the first game of their 3-game weekend series. The second game will take place tomorrow at 1 p.m. The JMU women's basketball team saw their season come to a close last Saturday following an 80-66 loss to the third-seeded Ohio State Buckeyes in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Looking forward to next season, the Dukes are certain of one thing. They'll be without Kiki Jefferson, who announced she is entering the transfer portal. Jefferson made the announcement on social media earlier this week. The senior guard has 1 year remaining of eligibility and will look to use it at another college. Jefferson, in her final season with the Dukes, was named the Sun Belt Player of the Year and the Sun Belt Tournament's most outstanding player. She averaged 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists per game this season and is certainly one of the best players in program history. That's all from sports. Maggie and Sam, back to you.
Thanks, Colby. When we come back,
seniors speak about their struggle on the search for jobs as graduation approaches.
And a cult classic takes the stage in a student production at Forbes.
Then, how a former casting director is inspiring students at JMU.
Stay tuned.
A Bojangles family meal has more to choose from.
Coleslaw.
Dirty rice.
Mac and cheese. Those scratch-made biscuits.
More choices of handcrafted fixins for everyone. You won't find that in a bucket or a bundle. Order in the app and get more. It's Bo time.
It's Bo time. Get fired up tonight because Bojangles has your dinner covered. Southbound, scratch made. Not one of these, but one of these. That's more home cooking for your money. Order your family meal in the app tonight. It's Bo time. It's Bo time. Hurry into Bojangles for 2 scratch-made sizzling sausage biscuits for just $4. 1 bite and you'll want breakfast for dinner. Good thing we serve savory sausage biscuits all day. But this 2-for-4 deal won't last forever. It's Bo time.
This is Breeze TV.
Now go back to Eleanor with the National News Rundown.
Thanks, Maggie. All right. DC's congressional hearings are taking place to determine the status of TikTok security. On Thursday, TikTok CEO Shou Zi Chew was questioned for 5 hours by lawmakers and members of the House Energy and Congressional Committee. This hearing is taking place during a tumultuous time for TikTok as governments nationwide work to restrict the video sharing platform. In other legal news, Governor Glenn Youngkin has changed state policy that restored civil rights for those with felony convictions. This move is a shift from his Republican predecessor, former Governor Robert McDonnell, who automatically restored voting rights for certain nonviolent felonies. Instead, people with felony convictions will now be required to file an application after their release in order to vote, run for office, and serve on a jury. Another politician is making headlines. President Biden issued his first veto on Monday. This would ban the government from making investments decisions for people's retirement plans based on the environmental impacts of big corporations. Biden said his reasoning for his decision was the bill would, quote, put at risk the retirement savings of individuals across the country. That's all for National News Rundown. Back to you at the news desk.
Thanks, Eleanor. College students have voiced concerns regarding job security after they graduate.
One of the chief reasons for that is looking for jobs after college. Senior Laura Garman reiterates that belief.
Was like applying to jobs, I was really worried about not being able to get a job right after school.
With that said, students have to put themselves out there and apply for internships or network and just start.
And doing all the things that you can do in order to achieve that is really helpful to kind of relax.
Libby Wesley, the director of the University Career Center, points out that you shouldn't overthink the process and that plans don't always work out.
Mid to the end point of my senior year, and I still hadn't figured out my plans. I was working on them, but none of my options had come to fruition. Be patient, things will work out. I also tell students the most important thing they need to do is to graduate.
Being able to get your dream job right out of college would be great, but that's not always the case. It's trial and error.
If you are in your first job and you love it, excellent. If you're in your first job and you hate it, that's okay.
Finding out what you're going to do after college is tough. But remember, you're not alone and you have help. This has been Moses Harris on Breeze TV.
As the end of the spring semester approaches, students are looking for places to live next year. The Fox townhouses are often confused with another Devon Lane complex, Fox Hill townhouses. To help differentiate between the two, the Fox townhouses have been amping up their amenities and services. Leasing consultant Kayla Sahine says that these updates will set them apart from Fox Hill and other off-campus housing.
Kicking in this rebrand with our new name as just simply The Fox. We're getting brand new awnings and painting our doors black, and we're really just upping the visual quality of our townhomes.
Since the start of the rebrand, they have added a valet trash service, which Sahine said is a fan favorite among current residents. For more information, go to lifeatfox.com or go to offcampushousing.jmu.edu for more options.
Opening night for the production of Little Shop of Horrors is performing later this evening at Forbes. Reporter Abby Allard is live now with director Misha Rodriguez and actor Celeste Black. Abby, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Maggie. I'm here at Forbes at the Studio Theater with Misha Rodriguez and Celeste Black. Now, it's opening night. How are you all feeling?
I am so thrilled to have opening night tonight. Everybody has put in so much hard work for this show.
Yeah, overall, I'm just very excited for everyone to see the show. We had a preview last night and it went really well, so I'm very excited for everyone to actually see it tonight.
Now, I know I've seen so many productions, I'm sure a lot of people have, of Little Shop, and I was just wondering, what is something new that you guys are bringing to the show that you might not see in other productions of this show?
I think that our puppet is really, really unique for this show. I think that it's nothing like you've seen before. Traditionally, Audrey 2 is done one way, and we decided to just throw that out the window.
Something I think that we do a little bit differently is probably the way our ensemble interacts with the show. I think we're a lot more together and interactive, and I guess that kind of shows our family relationship off the stage as well.
And now it is Women's History Month, as many of us know, and oftentimes we see within the Broadway industry and just Hollywood in general that there's not a lot of diversity with genders. How are you guys, this cast is very female dominated, so how have you guys kind of opened the door for other marginalized groups to maybe have a space with theater?
Well, traditionally a lot of characters in this show are male, and I decided in my casting that I didn't really care who came in. It depended more on talent, and I think when we are in an age such as 2023 that your gender doesn't matter, that you can just do whatever you want. It should depend on your talent and what you bring to the table, not what's in your pants.
Just to go off of that, I think we have a lot of females in this cast that really just bring the energy to the show regardless of not being male playing characters. I think they just portray it so well, and it doesn't matter that their gender is female.
Well, thank you guys so much for doing this interview. I believe the show is sold out already, so sorry you can't get tickets now. Well, thank you for coming out today. Back to you all in the studio.
Abby, thank you so much. Are you ready to rock and roll? Battle of the Bands, formerly known as the Rumble Down Under, is tonight from 7 to 10 p.m. at Taylor Down Under. The bands are performing are all JMU students. The lineup includes Derek Haynes, Vaughn Berger, Not a Saint, Project Serenity, and Seer Seeker. By attending the event, JMU students will have an opportunity to vote for their favorite band, and the winner will perform at Purple Rain on April 15th as an opener for the main act.
And now for our second installment of Humans of Harrisonburg, a series highlighting members within the community. Lights, camera, action. We head into the world of musical theater, where Professor Kate Lumpkin combines acting with diversity, dynamic learning experiences, and fun activities to enhance education.
It should be fun.
Through encouraging dialogues like this.
We have to go lyric by lyric through the song and figure out how it relates to you.
Rallying calls like this.
If you want to achieve things, there has to be a deep passion for the work.
And a 15-year-long career as a professional artist, Kate Lumpkin shows how her influence as a casting director helps her students thrive.
My time in New York has been really mutually beneficial, and I feel really lucky that JMU allows me to maintain my company.
Her eponymous company that calls for, quote, curating artistic families for groundbreaking creatives, end quote, puts her teaching career at an advantage.
I bring to the table that whole network of people that I continue to work with to our students.
From the learner's perspective, it's all about making learning impactful as much as it is enjoyable. As Stray Jordan shares, the experience is dynamic.
The fact that, one, she's very knowledgeable in what she is teaching, as well as every single day is a new day. You know, one day we're doing acting exercises, while another day we're, watching videos and unpacking why actors chose different choices.
Lumpkin advocates for diversity and equal representation on and off the stage. Her legacy?
I am a firm believer that the bodies that are telling stories are what impact culture beyond just what's happening on stage or on TV and film. Who we see on those screens and on those stages impacts who we believe we can become.
And if you're having a bad day and in need of a pick-me-up,
I always have a whole thing of snacks outside of my office that are free for anybody, and Squishmallows if people are feeling anxious. So if you're feeling anxious or hungry, come hang out with me.
Reporting for Breeze TV from the Forbes Center, this is Noel James.
Well, Sam, it's our first show back from spring break. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I think it went really well. I think we had some great content, and I'm really excited to see what we're going to be doing next.
Awesome. Well, stay tuned, everyone. Same time, same place. Have a good day.